Hey, everybody, it's Mr. Thompson once again, U.S. history. We're going to talk about William H. Taft. Hopefully, all of you have watched the videos and answered the one handout 10 questions on Teddy Roosevelt. Remember from before, the three progressive presidents are Teddy Roosevelt, William Taft, and Woodrow Wilson. So the first thing is William H. Taft. I'm going to read the notes to you. I will also read a couple things from the crossword puzzle, and then you will need to use that information to finish the handout that I post here in a little bit. William H. Taft was the 27th president of the United States. His nickname was Bill, and so Big Bill was the largest president. He was 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighed 300 pounds. I know many of you, or many students, have always heard the story about him getting stuck in the bathtub. He's the only person in American history to hold what we would call really two of the highest laws offices of the land. I apologize. He has been the president of the United States, obviously, and he was the Supreme Court Chief Justice, and he loved the law, and that's really where he wanted to be. He had been offered the Supreme Court 2 times, but he turned it down because he was the first civilian governor of the Philippines, and he wanted to get them on a sound footing before moving on to the Supreme Court positions. William H. Taft was from Ohio. He was the first civilian governor of the Philippines. And a lot of times, especially this time of year, you'll see a tradition with Major League Baseball that Taft was the president who had started. He began baseball's tradition of throwing out the first pitch at a ball game. Taft also liked to golf, and he began something called dollar diplomacy. That's where you influence countries, especially those in the Western Hemisphere, by offering them money. And obviously you can influence them by taking away the money if they don't do what you like. William H. Taft's wife's name was Helen Herron. Let's see. And so really the biggest thing is just remember Taft is the only president who's ever been both a president and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. I'm going to go ahead and read the crossword puzzle notes to you, and then I will also post them online for you to use if you need to help you answer the questions. William Taft grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. His family called him Big Lug because of his size. As I said, he was 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighed as much as 330 pounds. He was athletic. He liked to play tennis, liked to dance, and even learned to surf in Waikiki. Taft was an Ohio State Court judge before he became governor of the Philippines, which the United States had gained during the Spanish-American War. Taft improved the conditions all around and gave the people of the Philippines limited self-government, though it is important to note that they would not get full independence until the 1940s. In 1904, he returned to the United States to become President Roosevelt's Secretary of War. Roosevelt had wanted Taft to succeed him when he retired, and Taft won the election. Remember, Roosevelt was one of the most popular men in the world at that time. And so with his backing, Taft ended up becoming the second progressive president of the United States. Soon after taking office, Taft found out that being president was difficult and often lonesome. Many people, including Theodore Roosevelt, thought Taft acted too conservatively, but he did his best to carry out the policies that Roosevelt had set in place. Taft's administration attempted to break up 90 trusts or monopolies, which was more than Roosevelt had done when he was president. Taft supported the establishment of a federal income tax, and many of you should remember that's the 16th amendment to the Constitution. Taft favored dollar diplomacy, which meant using trade and investments to influence other countries. He even sent troops to Central America to protect American property and lives. Some people believe that the U.S. Army was under the control of American business. The Republicans nominated Taft for a second term, but Theodore Roosevelt was unhappy and thought that Taft was doing a poor job, so he ended up running for president again. What ends up happening is the Roosevelt and the Taft vote end up splitting, which allows Woodrow Wilson to become president of the United States. It was after he left the White House that Taft was appointed the Supreme Court Chief Justice. All right, like I said, I'm going to also post some notes on there that I would use this video and the notes to answer the questions related to William H. Taft. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Once we finish a couple more presidents, we're going to go ahead and also continue on with the Great Depression. Thank you.